Morning, this is Brian. Today is Thursday, September 25th, 2025, and I'm over here along the edge of Mission Trails Regional Park, near the greater San Diego River area, south of the 52, and about a half mile away from Kumeyaay Lake, and I just wanted to take a look at this little section here. There's one section here. I've been on that trail there above me, and I've hiked it a few times, and got some video for it as well. But I just wanted to stop by and look over here and just explore just this little spot. It's gonna be a short video. Just wanted to kind of look at the charming little side path to get over here and just kind of explore what we got growing here, because there's a lot of beautiful hardwood riparian forest here. Hardwood meaning trees that mostly deciduous broadleaf trees, which are typically called hardwoods. And right here we got a lot of gorgeous, pretty tall trees right here. One of the main trees over here is California box elder. This is Acer negundo subspecies californicum. This is near where I did a spotlight video on this plant last October. And yeah, this is the beautiful California box elder, or lone species of maple in this part of San Diego County. An actual true species of maple, and it's pretty well known through a huge chunk of North America, because it is native to a nice chunk of it, but it's also spreading to other parts of it very voraciously. Ours is native. Ours is native here. And you can see it doesn't look like a typical maple because it's got 3 leaflets. But yep, this is a true maple. You can kind of see some of the influence. Some of the leaves here actually were singular. I'm not trifoliate. Where did I see it? There are a couple leaves here that were three-lobed, a couple of them. Here we go. I guess they occasionally do this sometimes. Here we go. If I can get a hold of the twig, it would be nice. You can see this one here is not divided. I guess this occasionally happens too. See, this one here is not divided into leaflets. It's incised into lobes. I guess they occasionally do that. But yeah, the beautiful box elder. It's quite common in this area, in this local area. It's quite abundant, actually. And you can tell I got female trees here, because this one's getting seeds. Your double-winged seeds, samaras, or double samaras, or winged seeds. There's a lot else growing in this area. Right here, we got some pretty tall red willows here. We've got some pretty tall ones. They do get kind of large in this area. They're usually more small to medium-sized trees, but these ones got a little height to them. And there's just a lot of box elders. Actually, the dominant tree in this specific small location. You'll get more willows going that way, and you'll get more cottonwoods periodically here as well. But yeah, this is predominantly box elder and willow here. Red willow and California box elder. But we do have Fremont cottonwood back over here. There's a Fremont cottonwood over there. And we got other willows like Arroyo willow, Gooding's black willow, Hines sandbar willow as well. So let's go ahead and get a few pictures of this, and then I'll go ahead and look at some more of these beautiful trees here. Alright, so I'm going to go just making sure, looking out for poison oak. This would be a good place to find it. I'm going to go up to these trees here. Again, looking very carefully to avoid running into poison oak. Look at this red willow here. This one's got a decent sized trunk on it. This is Salix livigata. Occasionally you do get them getting quite large. And here's another one here. This is all probably part of the same tree. This has got a pretty decent base on it right here. It's quite a lovely specimen. And I think we've got a box elder maple seedling right here. Yeah, here's a seedling one here. The leaves haven't divided into lobes yet. This is a seedling right here. Almost looks like a red maple, but they're not super closely related maples. But there's a lot of box elder along this section here. Some larger specimens in the background too. Some of them look like they have some pretty decent sized trunks on them. I always love coming over here checking out these trees. Okay, here's a bigger Fremont cottonwood over here. In fact, right there has a pretty decent sized Fremont cottonwood right there. That one's got height to it. That one's got some height to it. A lot of these trees have girth, and some of them have girth and height. Very beautiful over here. Now this over here, these are arroyo willows. These shrubbier ones that are a little more upright over here. These are arroyo willows, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get over to this, make sure no poison oak gets rubbed. Yeah, here's a Fremont cottonwood trunk right here. This is a pretty nice sized specimen right here. This one looks like it's kind of sparsely foliated, so may not be doing as well. But this is a pretty decent sized trunk. Yeah, this is beautiful over here. Just look how lush and green it is. And there's our water right there. Just so beautiful here. Yeah. So anybody who thinks that the San Diego County is just all desert, people who have never been here before, it's not all desert. Believe me. We can get some pretty densely forested areas. Of course, the densely forested areas are typically around water sources, which are pretty scarce, but they're found. Just look around. And what do we got here? Here we got a seedling pecan tree right here. It's not native. This is Caria illinoinensis. Now, it's not a native tree. Ooh, the leaves are kind of aromatic, like the related walnuts, too. Kind of a nice aroma. This is Caria illinoinensis, the pecan tree, which can get quite large. This can get over 100 feet tall as well. But it's not native here to San Diego County, but it is naturalizing. It spreads pretty easily, and you'll find occasional specimens of it rising above the other riparian trees. And speaking of riparian, the term riparian refers to the Latin word for ripa, which means stream bank, because a lot of this riparian vegetation grows along stream banks, as seen here. Go about 20 yards away, it's going to be dry. It's going to be dry and scrubby, which is pretty typical. But I'm just mad. Look at just can't help but admire the trunks on this beautiful red willow here. This thing is just an absolute beast. It's not extremely tall, but boy, does it spread, and oh, it's so beautiful. This is an absolutely beautiful, breathtaking little spot right here that I had to make sure to share with you guys. It's just so lush and green. Yeah, it can get pretty lush and green if you got a water course cutting through the area. And we can have some pretty nice hardwood trees growing. There's a cottonwood leaf falling to the floor. Very beautiful here. It's a very nice, attractive little spot here that I had to at least get on film. Good old pecan trees. I think that's another seedling. I don't think that was the same one I just saw. I've seen a couple saplings in the area too. You can get some occasional saplings popping up. I'm going to go ahead and take a few more pictures of this, and we'll see what else I can find before I end this short video. So here I am by the main path, just a short little distance up the path, just all that lushness. Now I've explored other little side chutes leading towards where the water is, more towards that direction, but never explored this specific spot, and that's why I wanted to check that out. But another thing, and this, ooh, look at that. I don't know what species of spider that is. I don't want to cross the web. I'm trying to get footage of it without destroying its web. Hopefully I got it on camera on the other side. But I'm gonna go look up, try to see if I can identify what that is too. But what I really meant to come over and see was this massive California sycamore, Platanus racemosa. This is probably one of, if not the largest native trees in the lowlands. These things can get absolutely monstrous. While they may not have the height of, say, the big mountain pines, these things can get quite large and very tall, very girthy. Yeah, I just didn't want to cross that web. I wanted to get closer to the trunk, but I didn't want to disturb the spider too much. Yeah, just there we go. Platanus racemosa. This is an absolute monster. It's probably got like 6, 7, 8 trunks on it. Huge trunks. Some of them are massive trunks. And it's just an absolute beauty. Look at that. Oh, just look at that. That is so satisfying. Yeah. California sycamore. Very enigmatic tree that we have growing here, native. And of course, there's another massive one right over here, too. Another massive California sycamore. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous. There's another Fremont cottonwood right here, which is a relatively close relative of the willows growing here. It is a member of the willow family, the Salicaceae. And of course the sycamore is in its own family, the Platanaceae, the plane tree / sycamore family. Here's this first one right here. This thing is huge. You can tell it's been around for a long time. These trees can live for hundreds of years. And they are just breathtakingly beautiful trees. And they provide such cool shade on hot summer days. Not that it's hot right now. We got the marine layer. We're finally breaking out of that tropical humidity. Just gonna go over here a little bit. Yeah, more red willow. Very handsome red willows. Some of them get quite large here at Mission Trails. And look at that box elder. A young box elder right there. That's a young box elder. Acer Negundo californicum. Here's another one right here, close up. This one's got 5 leaflets. They can have anywhere from 1 leaflet or no leaflets on occasion, but mostly 3 to 5. And yes, again, this is a native species of maple here in San Diego County. Yes, San Diego County technically has 2 native maples, the other one being Acer macrophyllum, which is extremely rare in this county, albeit more common further north, say in Riverside, parts of Riverside County, especially the Santa Ana Mountains. Riverside and Orange County, you can be downright abundant in the Santa Ana Mountains. And very common in the Angeles National Forest, north of LA, and in the San Bernardino National Forest, northeast of LA. But yeah, and here we got another non-native tree here. This is Shamel ash, Fraxinus udi, which does occasionally pop up here. I'm making sure that is Shamel ash, because there is a native species of ash that does grow here, which is Fraxinus velutina. I gotta make sure this is not Fraxinus velutina. No, this is definitely Shamel ash. Yeah. Fraxinus velutina is occasionally found here in the San Diego River watershed. Might be more common in other areas. I've only seen one here at Mission Trails though, and that's over between the Mission Dam trailhead and the visitor center along Father Junipero Serra is where you'll find, I found one. I've seen one ash over there. It's a native Fraxinus velutina. This again, this is from Central and South America, I believe. Maybe Mexico. Maybe Mexico, Central America. And this is Fraxinus udi. And this one can generally get quite a bit larger than our native Fraxinus velutina, which is typically a small to medium-sized tree, sometimes shrubby thicket forming. This is a full-blown tree that could probably get up to 100 feet tall in ideal. But like the maples, ashes have samaras, or winged seeds, but unlike maples, they're not paired in twos, they're singular. But they form in very similar positions along the twigs, so if you're looking at a tree with winged seeds, if it's a double winged seed, it's a maple. If it's a single winged seed, it's an ash, or there are a couple of other trees like ailanthus that have single winged seeds as well. Yeah, I got a lot of box elder along here. Just very lush, just luscious. I'm gonna see if I can eventually find other San Diego River Trail type environments where I can get some more footage of the gorgeous hardwood trees that grow there. Yeah, there's another box elder right there. I think some of the leaves are starting to show sign of slight change. But that won't be more pronounced until late October. Here are the rest of our peaks here of Mission Trails, our noble, beautiful peaks. I've climbed all the named peaks here and several of the unnamed peaks. You can, if you want to scroll through my channel to look for some of those hikes. Those are where I do some more significant hikes, where I'm climbing up peaks and using steeper trails to get up and access them. A lot of fun peaks to climb here at Mission Trails. Each peak has its own unique perspective of the park, and each also just has its cool vibe, and I love all of our peaks here. Alright, I'm going to see if I can look for another spot to poke in before turning around here. Alright, found another narrow use trail leading hopefully towards the creek. But we also have more non-native species that sometimes get much larger than our natives. Here is a deceased eucalyptus tree, Eucalyptus comodulensis river red gum. Next to it is a young living comodulensis right here. These are native to just about the entire mainland of Australia, especially the inland portions where they like to get established near creeks. They are pretty drought tolerant. They can be pretty darn drought tolerant, but they do prefer to grow closer to where there's water. So being that San Diego County and a lot of Southern California has an ideal climate for eucalyptus, this tree gets very readily established, especially in riparian areas like this. Here's another one here. In fact, Eucalyptus comodulensis is very notorious for getting established in these river areas. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got some other interesting things here too. Let me see. Fortunately, I don't. Oh yeah. It looks like we got grassleaf goldenrod or western goldenrod here too. I don't come across this one a super huge amount, but it looks like next month it's going to be blooming. This is Eothamia occidentalis. These are last year's flower heads, it looks like. Yeah, this is western goldenrod here. Is it? Or am I tripping? No. I think I'm tripping. No, this is Douglas mugwort. I was hoping this was Eothamia occidentalis. No, this is Douglas mugwort. I really had to get a closer look at it because it looked so convincingly like Eothamia occidentalis. But no, it's Douglas mugwort. It's just kind of struggling over here. It's not quite as lush. So sometimes you have to kind of look at these plants a little more closely to make sure you know what you're seeing. Kind of similar in stature. These are very tall Douglas mugworts. Yeah, this is Artemisia douglasiana. When I rub the leaves and I smell that camphor aroma, I was thinking to myself, I better slow my roll. I might be misidentifying this plant, which I sure as heck was. So yeah, it's not Eothamia occidentalis. That's Artemisia douglasiana, Douglas mugwort. A native plant that really loves growing near water as well. Kind of in this little floodplain above the river. And here we got more Acer negundo californicum. And a very non-native grass here. And this is one of the tallest grasses found here in San Diego County. And the tallest grasses in San Diego County are not native. Most are ornamental. The bamboos. The bamboos are non-native ornamentals that get taller than a lot of our trees do. But this is not an ornamental. This is the Arundo donax, the giant reed, which looks like a big old sugar cane or a big bamboo. This is a non-native plant, and it's a grass. This is a grass that you just ain't gonna be able to mow with your lawnmower because these things get huge, sometimes up to 20 feet tall. Like this one here is probably close to about 20 feet tall. I mean, it's a pretty dope looking plant, but it has been responsible for desiccating water sources because these plants are thirsty. They're thirsty, and they spread. Once they get established, they can spread through underground rhizomes. In other words, roots that spread out and send up new shoots above the ground. So this plant is a very highly invasive plant found in riparian areas I was talking about earlier, stream bank environments. They love sucking up water from the ground like the other native riparian plants, but they could do so extremely that it depletes the water table for the native plants, and that could be a reason why some of our natives are struggling a little bit here. Like this little red willow here that looks like it's kind of struggling. For the most part, this one hasn't taken up so much that the other trees are overly affected, but it definitely has an effect on the water table. So be careful with that plant. It's a neat looking plant. I mean, I love plants, period. I think plants are amazing. They're fun to look at. Not gonna lie, they're fun as heck to look at. But some of the non-native plants, you really got to be careful with those. And there's another patch of giant reed right there, and it is sporadically found here along the San Diego River. Actually, probably more abundantly in some spots. So yeah, be careful what you do. If you do have that plant growing ornamentally in your yard, which is probably extremely very highly bad idea, despite it being a pretty neat looking plant, you don't want that thing getting out and choking off the native populations. All right, let's see if there are any more access points so I can check this stuff out. Here's another non-native plant that can severely lower our water table. Tamarisk. But let's focus on this massive Fremont cottonwood right up here. That thing is huge. Forgive the noise of the road. I'm gonna go ahead and try to go by this tree and see if I can get a good perspective of it. Here we go. Sorry for the traffic. There's a huge box elder in here too. That's a huge cottonwood tree. There's a trunk on that thing. Damn, thing's huge. Yeah. There's a lot of box elder down here. Wow. Oh man, that is cool. Yeah, sorry for the traffic noises, but there's a big Goodings willow in here too. Some of these Goodings willows are massive. Sheesh. Some of these are huge. There's another pretty decent box elder right here. There's a lot of box elder along here. Wow. Sheesh. Pretty amazing. Yeah, some of these trees are huge. Oh, here's another pecan tree. Here's a pecan sapling right here. This is a young tree. This thing's already probably about 25 feet tall. Dang. Got a bunch of pecans in here too. Got so much box elder here. Wow. Beautiful Fremont cottonwood leaves here. Gorgeous leaves. There's so much box elder here. Love it. More than I thought. The whole area's covered in box elder. Let's see if I can explore down here a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna check some of this out if it's possible. Right by the 52. 52 is right above us. This is pretty neat. We're by the freeway. We got a beautiful Aleppo pine right here too. Just want to see if this is accessible down here. Check this out if possible. At least I had to add something different to this hike. This is a little bit more of a hiking video than I thought. Let's make sure I don't walk into any homeless encampments. Oh man, yeah, this is beautiful. A lot of trees down here. Wow. Look at it. There's a lot of cool stuff growing in here. Let's see if I can get down this safely. It's pretty stable over here, actually. Just a lot of trash. That's the only thing about it. Let's see if I can get down here a little bit. Wow. Here we are. Yeah. Ooh, there's a California sagebrush right here. Artemisia californica. walking along that a few minutes ago. So much growing here too. It's a beautiful hardwood forest. Here's western ragweed. Quite a bit of it here actually. Brosia coelostachya. Trying to get some of the aromas off from the leaves. A little bit aromatic. Yeah. Pretty interesting over here. Wow. Just had to check some of this out. So I get some new grass sprouting here from that rain we had a little over a week ago. Check out over here. Make sure no homeless encampments. On the other side. Oh yeah. Desert grape. Vitis Gerdiana growing all over here. Don't see any grapes on it right now though. There's another California box elder right here. Pretty interesting. Wow, yeah, a lot of grapevine growing around here. Yeah, this box elder is full of seeds too. Wow, that's pretty neat. Wow. Yep, there's the trunk of the box elder right there, right next to the pillar. It's amazing how much box elder is growing here. It's actually one of the dominant trees in this area. Wow. That's pretty crazy. It's actually one of the dominant trees in this general vicinity. Which is so cool. Let's see what else I find. Looks like I found a small trail or something here. Again, I'm looking out for poison oak, making sure I steer clear of it if there is any. Oh, I was talking about desert grape earlier. Here's a non-native plant that's related to grape. It's in the grape family, the Vitaceae. This is Parthenocissus, Virginia creeper woodbine. This one's probably Parthenocissus vitacea, but this could also be quinquefolia. If this is quinquefolia, this is a plant I used to encounter native in New Jersey, where I used to live for 8 years. I used to come across this plant. This plant gives off a beautiful orange to scarlet red fall color. This is in the genus Parthenocissus. So it's either Vitacea or quinquefolia. Could be either or. I used to see that in New Jersey a lot. And we got here a Chinese elm sapling. Yeah, almost parvifolia. I almost feel like I'm back east a little bit. Like I said, I'm looking out for poison oak and stuff, making sure I don't run across any. So far, not yet. Wow. This is beautiful here. Look at this Douglas mugwort. This thing is tall. Artemisia douglasiana once again. This one, I wonder if it has hybrid DNA. I wonder if this is a hybrid between Artemisia douglasiana and Artemisia palmeri, the Palmer sagewort. But yeah, I just cannot believe how much box elder is growing in this area. It's the dominant tree. Well, co-dominant with the willows, of course. There's a lot of Acer negundo californicum here. Wow. What a beautiful wooded spot this is. Wow. It is so luscious down here. Wow. maples, willows, occasional cottonwoods. Okay. Glad I'm making an exploratory video out of this. So this is definitely worth checking out. Of course, like I said, I'm being very cautious, keeping an eye out for western poison oak. Gosh, this is beautiful. There's a lot of awesomeness growing here. Gosh, yeah, this is pretty nice. Yeah, there's so much mugwort growing here too. It likes these ravine bottoms. Wow, they're so lush here. If the trees were a little taller and more upright, I would have felt like I was back east again. Definitely has a very luscious, gorgeous look here. Get some pictures of this. Ooh, an Argiope spider. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, I don't want to ruin its web. Look at that. What a handsome spider. Sorry, the view isn't the best on camera. Let's see if I can get some backlighting. I'm not actually touching the spider, but I'm trying to provide a contrast so you can see the spider on camera. I'm not actually touching or disturbing the web, so you know. Beautiful spider. I'm not going to disturb it by crashing its web. This will probably be a turnaround for me here because, like I said, I don't want to disturb any wildlife. Love seeing wildlife, but I don't like disturbing it too much. Pretty neat little area, I'll tell you. This is worth some pictures too. As always here, just be aware of your surroundings. Thought I heard somebody off in the bushes kind of further down, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn around and head out of here. So if you intend to explore these areas, just be mindful of things like private property. I didn't see any private property signs, so I figured I was good to explore, but just be on the lookout for transient encampments. Just for your own safety. I gotta scramble up this a little bit. Okay. All right. Pretty interesting. Right by the exit for Mass Boulevard. So yeah, a couple more pictures. Start heading back. I want to take a few minutes to explore this side too, if I can. Let's see if I can get down here safely. I'm on the other side now. Yeah. Ooh, there is a way to scramble down here. Ooh. Let's see if I can get next to that massive cottonwood tree. Ooh, got some other interesting stuff growing here too. Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, this is very interesting here. This is a very interesting area. Let's see if I can get down there safely. Yeah, there's a Bradford flowering pear right here. Paris caloriana. Probably, well, could be the regular calorie pear. Yeah. Actually got a flowering pear growing down here. This must have got established by itself by seed. It's rare, but I have seen these occasionally pop up in wild places. There's just massive cottonwood over here too. I'm just looking out for poison oak, making sure I don't step in any. Here's that big cottonwood I was admiring from on the bridge. This is it right here. This is a big tree. It's a big cottonwood tree. This is a monster. Populus fremontii, subspecies fremontii. Yeah, this is a big tree here. Wow. So here we are again in the forest. Now, we do have an ash tree over here too. I think this might be a velutina. Let me see. No, I think this is an uddy. Yeah, it looks like an uddy. Yeah, look at how much larger the box elders get down here. But yeah, just look at the structure of this cottonwood tree. This thing is huge. It's a massive cottonwood tree. Yeah, and these box elder trees get to a little bit larger size here. These are usually not large trees by any stretch, but wow. Yeah. These are some pretty decent sized box elders. Oh man, so much box elder growing here. This is really beautiful. Yeah, in a little maple forest. You didn't think you'd be saying that while being in San Diego County, did you? But no, here it is. This is mostly a box elder forest here. Here's a pretty decent sized box elder right here. In fact, it's a pretty big one. It's a solid sized tree. Wow. Single trunk too at that. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. Oh, here's a pecan. Here's a pecan sapling right here too. Right here, it's a pecan tree right here. Wow. This is incredible. This is incredibly beautiful here. Yeah, these box elders are bigger down here. Oh boy. Here's another pecan right here. Here's the bark of the pecan tree right here. Caria illinoisensis. Not native here, but definitely grows here. Very well. It does very well in our climate. Very good at tolerating heat and pretty good at tolerating cold because it grows in the central U.S. where it gets cold in the winter. Not so much here, but look at all this box elder. Dang. Oh man. This is beautiful. I am so glad I kind of went off the beaten path to check these spots out. Look at this. These are decent sized trees. Like I said, box elder is not generally a large species of tree. Small to medium. These are absolutely stunning. All right, I gotta get some pictures around here. So near the bridge again. Look at the size of the trunk on this box elder. Wow! This has got a big trunk for what's normally a small to medium-sized tree. Boy, that's an impressive specimen right there. Wow. We're technically not in Mission Trails right now, or else I probably wouldn't be off trail like this. I think we're outside of the park. Wow. Yeah, the box elders down here are impressive. It's pretty big stuff. Just watch how you don't trip on the exposed roots over here. Yeah, more pecan seedlings. There's a small Mexican fan palm sapling size. They don't really form sapling stages like true trees do. Here's the water. Pretty cool. Right underneath the thoroughfare in my hometown of Santee. Who would have thought I'd be hiking in a grove of maple trees? Who would have thought? Obviously I knew they were here. I just didn't realize the extent of this grove. This cuts through northern parts of Mission Trails. It cuts through a lot of Mission Trails. It's just absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous here. Coming here in late October when these trees are changing color. I might have to make a return engagement in about a month. And I got a vacation coming at the end of next month, towards the last few days of October, going into the first few days of November. That one probably going to be going out of town. Look at that. Oh, look at this. I'll go on this side for a few minutes too. Yeah, look at this. This is magically beautiful. It's so lush down here. It's like somebody's doing some roadside work. Probably trimming the tree branches. So I saw some twigs falling down on the ground. Yeah, somebody's doing some work on the trees right there. So you can kind of see. I'm not going to get too close to that and get myself in the way. Look at this. A little creek comes through here. It's part of the San Diego River system. Just look how beautiful it is, backlit by the sun. More box elders over here. Ooh, we've got California blackberry here too. Rubus arsinus. So glad to see this instead of the non-native Himalayan blackberry, the rubus, the other rubus. Wow. Pretty cool. Yeah, there's another large cottonwood right here too. Yeah, there's just these maple trees. California box elders just everywhere here. Very special area. Alright. Get some pictures of this actually. Hold up. So here I am by this part of the stream bank. Oh, just look at that. It's just green as far as the eye can see. Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought near San Diego you could be hiking in a maple forest? Yep. This is a maple forest. This is predominantly box elder here. Occasional cottonwoods and willows popping out, but yeah. Yeah, this is dead to rights. A San Diego County, lowland San Diego County maple forest. We are so blessed to have this here. Then we got this little part of the San Diego River system cutting through back here. May not be a lot of water, might not look like a big raging river, but it is so beautiful to see. Water cutting through here. So many box elders, I just can't get over it. That's why I'm so bugging out. That's why I'm spending so much time here. It's just so beautiful to see these native maple trees growing here. It's just a great feeling to have. And here's more of that woodbine again, that Parthenocissus. Again, this is in the grape family, the Vitaceae. They get little tiny drupe-like fruits that usually turn purplish. I don't see any on these here, but I don't know how else they'd be spreading around here. These are not really native here, but they're not, to my experience, they're not extremely invasive. I have come across them on occasion, but the fall color, the ones I saw in New Jersey, the fall colors on them, oh man. And they usually start changing a little bit before the trees do, so you'll start seeing the fall color back east in northern New Jersey, northwest New Jersey where I used to live. They would start coloring in late September, usually around this time. Obviously we're here in Southern California, low elevation, so things are going to change a lot later, but my experience with these has been very, very awesome. They've been changing red, orange, and so sometimes the trees will still be mostly green, like when I was back in New Jersey, late September and early October before the big leaf change, and the trees would still be mostly green with some coloring here and there, and then you'd see these fiery red vines growing up and down the trunks of the trees, and that was the fall color of either the Parthenocissus quinquifolia, the Virginia woodbine, or the eastern poison ivy, Toxicodendron radicans, which also turned brilliant reds in autumn as well, and usually started changing earlier than the trees. Wow, look at that. Listen to that water. It just looks so clear too, especially with all the trash and everything here. Surprised it looks so clear. I wouldn't go drinking out of this, but it is very, very nice to see. Yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful. It's so green here. Time for a few more pictures, and then I'm probably going to start moving my way back. Yeah, I'll probably be getting ready to head out soon in case people working on the trees come on this side. They might do that pretty soon. Look at these Washingtonian robustas too. Healthy Mexican fan palms. Here's that flowering pear again. So interesting how these do occasionally get escape cultivation. Do occasionally pop up in the wild. Again, this is Pyrrhus caleriana. It's a type of the flowering pear that covers entire streets in puffy clouds of white before most of the other trees are even awakened. And what do we have here? Got something different over here. We got a glossy privet, Ligustrum lucidum. Yeah, we got a glossy privet right here. Not native as well. We don't have any native privets here in Southern California. And that privet, yeah, those are the drupes right there. Those are the drupes of Ligustrum lucidum. They turn purplish black when they're ripe. And this one looks like this one's going to be ripening probably a couple more months, probably towards November. Ligustrum lucidum, glossy privet, which is actually a relative of this also non-native chamel ash right here, genus Fraxinus. This is Fraxinus udi. This is the chamel ash, which is also related to our native Fraxinus velutina, the velvet/Arizona ash. Wow, yeah, pretty wild little spot this is, I'll tell you. There's another glossy privet right here. So, yeah. Look at gorgeous cottonwoods. Gosh, man. And we got another Eucalyptus comodulensis in front of that cottonwood. It's like that cottonwood's starting to change some leaf color. Sometimes they get started a little early and then they slowly go through the leaf changes. Oh boy. And here we go. Western goldenrod. This is Euthamia occidentalis, blooming here in late September. I was hoping to find this plant in bloom finally. So that means another kind of video is going to be being recorded very soon as well. So yeah, Western goldenrod growing here, Euthamia occidentalis. This is the first time I've ever seen it in bloom. All right, well, I'm just going to be basically heading back the way I came. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. It's not really a big hiking video. It's just an exploratory video. So I'm not going to be checking in with updates and all this and that. I pretty much showed what I need to show of this area. So I'm going to need to switch gears and start recording another video of a different sort. So here we are, the San Diego River. Yeah, maples in San Diego County. And I'm not even talking about the mountains. I'm talking about a couple 100 feet above sea level. So there you have it. Thanks for coming along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed recording it. And I'll see you on my next adventure.